If you stop paying your phone bill tomorrow, your life starts shutting down within 24 hours. No calls, no access to your bank, no way to reach your doctor or your family. And for most retirees in Canada and Australia, that means one thing. You are not paying for a phone. You are paying to stay connected to your life. Month after month, year after year, that cost quietly adds up to more than $10,000, money you already worked decades to earn, disappearing in small payments you stop questioning. And the truth is, it's not designed for you to ever stop paying. But now, there's a new promise being talked about, a phone that could remove that monthly bill completely, using satellites instead of carriers. It sounds like a way out. But before you believe that, there is one critical detail most videos are not telling you, and if you miss it, this could end up costing you far more than it saves.
The real cost nobody talks about. Let us be specific, because this is your money and you deserve real numbers. In Canada, the average phone plan with a decent data allowance runs between $75 and $110 a month. In Australia, it is similar, $60 to $95, sometimes more if you are outside a major city and need a rural data plan. That is before you add device insurance, which most carriers quietly push you to sign when you upgrade. That is another $12 to $15 a month right there. Then there is the phone itself. Carriers do not sell you a phone outright anymore. They sell you a payment plan, 2 years, sometimes 3. You think you got a deal on a new device, but you are locked in. Miss a payment, change your mind, move somewhere the plan does not cover, there are penalties, real ones. Here is what nobody in the carrier industry wants you to think about. If you are retired and living on a fixed income, your expenses do not grow with inflation, but your phone bill does. Every year, quietly, the plan costs a little more. A new fee here, a rate adjustment there. And you are at the bottom of the priority list when it comes to affordable options, because carriers build their business around young, high-data users, not men in their 70s who mostly need a reliable connection and peace of mind. This is not a small inconvenience. This is a structural problem that drains your retirement savings slowly and silently for the rest of your life. Stop for a second and think about that number again. $10,000 over 10 years just for phone service. What would you do with $10,000? That's the context you need before we talk about what Tesla may be building. The promise and why it actually makes sense this time. A few months ago, a phrase started showing up in leaked documents, supply chain reports, and patent filings out of Tesla's engineering division. No monthly bill, direct Starlink connection, no carrier. The device being discussed is called the Tesla Pi phone. Now, I know what you're thinking. You have seen this kind of hype before. Every few years, somebody claims they're going to disrupt the phone industry. They never do. So let me be very clear right from the start. Tesla has not officially confirmed this phone exists. There is no pre-order website. Do not send money to anyone claiming otherwise. What I'm going to walk you through today is based on patent filings, leaked engineering documents, and what we already know about how Starlink technology works. Nothing more. But here's why this one is worth paying attention to, and why it is different from every other disruption claim you've heard. Tesla does not need to make money selling phones. That's the key. Apple charges you $1,200 for an iPhone because the device itself is how they profit. Verizon charges you $100 a month because the subscription is how they profit. Every dollar you spend keeps those business models alive. Tesla's business model is completely different. They make money selling cars, energy storage systems, and solar infrastructure. Starlink, their satellite internet network, already has over 6,000 satellites orbiting the Earth right now, covering more than 99% of North America, including rural Canada and the Australian outback. That infrastructure is already paid for. It already exists. A phone that connects directly to that network would not need a carrier. Not Telstra, not Rogers, not Bell. The phone would talk directly to the satellites.
If that sounds too good to be true, consider this. Starlink's direct-to-cell technology is already being tested. T-Mobile in the United States is running live trials right now. Emergency services in several states have already used it. This is not vaporware. The satellite-to-phone connection is a real operational technology. The question is not whether it works, the question is what it costs, what it covers, and what the trade-offs are. And those are exactly the questions most videos on this topic refuse to answer honestly.
What this actually means if you live in Canada or Australia. Let me break this down the way it actually matters for your life, not in tech specs, but in real situations. If you live in a city like Toronto, Sydney, or Vancouver, Starlink as your sole connection is not the full picture. Inside a concrete apartment building, satellite signals lose strength. Thick walls, underground parking, the basement laundry room. These are physics problems, not engineering failures. You would still want Wi-Fi at home and 5G backup in the city. In that scenario, PiPhone becomes a powerful redundancy layer, not your only connection, but a critical one. If you live in rural Canada, however, somewhere outside a major city corridor, in cottage country, on acreage, or near the wilderness, this is where PiPhone has genuine life-changing value. Canada has some of the worst rural cellular coverage in the developed world. Bell and Rogers have decades of promises and not nearly enough towers. The same is true in rural Australia. The outback is massive. Cell towers are sparse. Entire regions have no meaningful mobile coverage at all. A phone that connects directly to satellites orbiting 400 kilometers above your head does not care about tower density. It does not care how far you are from civilization. It works. Now, here is the part that most channels skip past, and this matters, especially if you are in your late 60s or 70s and living in a condo or apartment. Indoor satellite performance is a real limitation today. A wooden frame house with large windows will generally get decent satellite signal. A concrete apartment tower with small windows and interior hallways will struggle. The satellite signal may drop in your bedroom, but work near a south-facing window. That is not a flaw in the design. That is the current state of the technology, and being honest about it is more useful than pretending otherwise. The phone would automatically switch to Wi-Fi or cellular when the satellite signal weakens. You would not manually manage this. It would be seamless. But it is important you understand, in a dense urban apartment, you are not going to throw away your home Wi-Fi router and replace it with PiPhone. That is not what this device is designed to do. Where it shines, and where it genuinely could change your financial situation, is eliminating the carrier contract entirely. You pay once for the device, the basic Starlink connection comes with it, and suddenly that $100 a month line item disappears from your budget. One more thing the other videos will not tell you. Every country has different satellite communication regulations. Canada has relatively favorable spectrum rules for direct-to-cell technology. Australia's regulatory framework is also compatible, but rollout will not happen everywhere at the same time. When Tesla launches, if Tesla launches, expect Canada and Australia to be in the first wave, not the last. The combination of rural population density, coverage gaps, and regulatory compatibility makes both countries strong candidates.
The honest truth. What could go wrong? This is the section that separates channels that respect you from channels that just want your view count. There are 4 real risks to the PiPhone, and I want to walk through each one clearly. First, Starlink may not be fully free. The phrase "no monthly bill" is what appears in leaked documents, but the infrastructure cost of running 6,000 satellites does not disappear. The most likely scenario, based on how Tesla prices its other products, is a tiered model. Basic connectivity, enough for calls, texts, maps, and email, may come included with the device. Streaming video, heavy data use, or hotspot functionality would likely require an upgraded plan. That plan would almost certainly cost less than what you pay a carrier today. But free forever, unlimited everything, is probably not the final product.
Second, this is a first-generation device. Tesla has never built a phone before. The first version of anything has bugs. Features that worked perfectly in the lab may behave differently in the real world. Support infrastructure will be thinner than Apple's. If something goes wrong with your Pi phone in year 1, you are not walking into a store on every corner. You may be mailing the device to a service center. For someone who depends on their phone for medical appointments and family contact, that gap matters. Third, switching ecosystems has real costs. If you have been on iPhone for 10 years, your contacts, your photos, your banking app, your medical portals, they all live inside Apple's system. Moving to a new operating system means rebuilding those connections. Tesla would need to make this migration very simple for it to work for men in their late 60s and 70s. Based on what is in the leaked design documents, they understand this. Whether the actual product delivers on it remains to be seen. Fourth, the app question is not fully answered. The essential apps, Chase, Medicare, Wells Fargo, Maps, YouTube, and video calling, appear to be confirmed in partnership documents. But niche apps, specialized pharmacy portals, specific insurance platforms, those may not be available at launch. None of this means the Pi phone is a bad idea. It means it is a trade-off. And understanding what you are trading is how you make a smart decision.
A day in the life. What this actually looks like. Let me walk you through something concrete. Picture a man, 72 years old, living in British Columbia, Canada. Retired after 35 years in manufacturing. Fixed income. He has a phone plan that costs him $98 a month, and he uses maybe a quarter of the data he is paying for. On a Tuesday morning, he checks a text from his daughter in Calgary, opens his banking app to confirm a transfer went through. He is on Wi-Fi at home. The Pi phone connects seamlessly, no satellite needed inside, just his home router. At noon, he drives 40 minutes into town. Out in the open, away from the city, the satellite connection kicks in. No dead zones, no searching for signal on the highway. His GPS works the entire route. He gets a call from his doctor's office confirming a prescription. Clean audio, no drops. That evening, he's back home. The signal inside is handled by Wi-Fi again. He does a video call with his grandson. No buffering, no dropped connection. 3 weeks later, there is a major ice storm. The power grid goes down. The local cell tower loses backup power within 6 hours. His neighbor's iPhone shows no service. His Pi phone, running directly off Starlink satellites that are orbiting entirely independent of the ground-based power grid, still works. He calls his daughter. He calls 911 for his neighbor down the road who has fallen. That is not a fantasy. That is the realistic, grounded version of what this technology makes possible. Not perfect, not magic, but in the moments that matter most to a man living on a fixed income in rural Canada, profoundly useful. Should you wait or not? Here is how to think about this decision clearly. You should seriously consider waiting for Pi phone if you are currently locked into a carrier contract that costs more than $60 a month, you live outside a major city where coverage is already patchy, you do not heavily depend on Apple-specific apps like iMessage or FaceTime with your whole family, and you have some tolerance for being an early adopter in exchange for long-term savings. You should not wait if you need absolute stability right now, your entire family communicates exclusively through Apple's ecosystem, you live in a dense urban apartment and satellite signal will be inconsistent, or you need a guaranteed support center within driving distance. You should keep watching and decide later if you are genuinely interested but not yet convinced, if you want to wait for independent reviews from real users before committing, or if you want to see official pricing before making any decision. There is no wrong answer in that last group. In fact, that is probably the smartest position to take right now.
Here is the bottom line. You do not need to be the first person to buy this phone. You just need to be one of the people who understood it clearly before making any decision. The carriers are counting on you not doing the math. They are counting on you renewing the same plan, paying the same fees year after year because switching seems complicated and the alternatives seem risky. The Pi phone, if it delivers on even 60% of what is in those documents, changes that math completely.
Before I let you go, I want to be completely direct with you about one thing. Everything I have walked you through today is based on leaked documentation, patent filings, and technical analysis of what is already real and operational in the Starlink network. Tesla has made no official announcement. There is no confirmed release date. There is no legitimate pre-order website anywhere. If you see a link claiming you can reserve a Tesla Pi phone right now, that is a scam. Close the tab. Do not give anyone your credit card, your social security number, or your phone number. When Tesla makes a real announcement, it will come from Elon Musk's verified account and from Tesla.com, nowhere else. And when that day comes, I will be here with a full breakdown within 24 hours. If this video helped you think more clearly about what is coming and what it might mean for your monthly expenses, hit the like button. It takes 2 seconds, and it genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need this kind of straight talk. And subscribe now with the bell on, because the next video in this series is going to answer the question I get asked more than any other. Can the Tesla Pi phone actually replace an iPhone for everyday life? Calls, banking, medical apps, video calls with the grandkids? Or is it only good for emergencies? I am going to walk through it app by app, scenario by scenario, with no hype and no agenda, just the truth. That video drops in a few days. If you are not subscribed, you will miss it. Hit that button now. This channel exists for one reason: to help you understand the technology that is about to change your retirement before you have to make a decision about it. Not after, before. I will see you in the next one. Stay sharp, stay skeptical, and never send money to anyone who contacts you about a phone that has not been officially released yet.